What's up, Buck fans? We're about to be live on 102.9, the aftermath on the game, Broad Street South. Let's get ready for this Buck talk against Detroit. Let's do this. What's good, Buck fans? You are looking at the aftermath on 102.9, the game, Broad Street South Radio. It's your boy AJ Turn Up, aka Buff Curry, and we got my man Coach Slick, the British guy who's always flying on standby. I hope you're doing all right. You are. So as you already know, the Buccaneers are going to be playing Detroit Lions. It's a lot of crazy narratives out there. They want the golden team, the come up team to beat your beloved Bucs. Everybody just swears we ain't got it. So we just going to break down why the Bucs are going to humble them or what kind of game they're going to have. So if you got questions, just throw the damn thing in the StreamYard so we can answer your questions. And it's always go Bucs. How you doing today, Slick?
I'm feeling good. It's Spooktober. I've been getting my pumpkin spice on because the wife brought me a liter of pumpkin spice. I don't pay for that shit because I don't believe in that crap. But I'll pour it in my coffee because it tastes good. But I don't order takeout coffee anyway. I got my machine, my beloved machine. I'm living life now. The house is decorated. College football's on. I'm watching a little bit of that. Rugby World Cup has not turned out well for me. My team is now exited, so that shit's good. I need some new juju in my life.
Well, if you want some
because
good
bad
juju,
done me wrong. So I need some Buck juju to get me going. It's creamsicle week, so whoo! And I got pimping a bit of the old bit of
Beetle, Beetlejuice.
Yeah, say it 3 times. You coming, baby?
Exactly. Nice fucking model. That's my man. Beetlejuice is always a classic. Michael Keaton, that's an iconic role. So
absolutely,
I fucking love it.
How about you, bro?
And
what's going on?
Oh, we good. My girl loves Halloween too, so got a lot of stuff. Got to decorate the house, and then of course we'll watch our little scary movies. Like yesterday, it was Friday the 13th, so I had her watch Jason. Which
one did you pick?
The first one with Mrs.
The OG. The only problem with the OG movie, because it is the first, is it doesn't have Jason really in it. You know what I mean?
No,
you don't get the iconic like the hockey mask and the machete until like film number 3 or 4. I can't.
Absolutely, exactly. And what made the first one even seem like it was disturbing is the first person scene, but after a while it got goofy because
old school, bro.
Getting their ass whooped.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my girl was like, "This is boring." I'm like, "This is a classic. This is Is
that your go-to? Is that your
shit? My go-to is my top horror movies of all time that I will watch.
Okay, give me a top 5.
My top 5, of course, Scream.
Oh wow! Okay, that's not in my top 5 at all.
I remember when that shit came out. So that always. Okay. Halloween, the first Halloween, that shit is always good. That shit is always going to be
good. Mickey Myers. Oh yeah.
And then I will watch Friday the 13th. And then I got to go with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That shit that shit's crazy. And then for comedy and humor, I go with Child's Play. Just because Chucky is always funny. Because I just look at it like if you die by Chucky, you deserved it. Because for me,
you lost to a fucking doll.
Yeah, you lost to a 2-foot doll and running at you. He would run
made of plastic.
Exactly. But yeah, what about you?
OG Halloween all day long, but I'm a creature double featured guy. I like that Halloween and Halloween 2 back to back. Right. Okay. And I got one that it's a scary movie, but it's more of a weird one. The Thing.
Oh yeah. I couldn't put The Thing in there. I thought that was more of science fiction horror.
Yeah, it's real. It's horror when it is, but it is the science because it's about aliens and shit. So I get where you're going with it, but it's just I don't know because you can do a creature double feature with that as well because they made a prequel movie that literally finishes the moment the thing starts. So it's kind of cool to do that. So I like that. I'll go with Hellraiser 1.
Yeah, Pinhead gives me the chill.
Oh man, I mean, I don't watch it that often, but yeah. And then I think I've got 3, so I'll go with the OG of one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It's PG. You could let the kids watch it, but it still rings true to this day. The OG Frankenstein in black and white. I could still watch it today. It's fucking beautiful. And then to finish it off, I'd probably go a little bit more modern. The Purge.
The Purge. Yeah, I got you.
The new idea. It was just every now and again you get like a horror movie that just kind of, I wouldn't say breaks the mold, but brings them a new perspective. And The Purge did that. Like the Saw films. The Saw films, when they first came out, they were a breath of fresh air. It was something completely new. It was like, wow. And then after like 15 of them, you're like, fuck, it's the same shit.
Facts. No, I get it. No, The Purge was good because from a philosophical standpoint and from that shit could actually happen.
A class system as well.
Yeah. And the class
I remember my wife said, if there's one president that could initiate the Purge, it's probably Donald Trump.
Yes, exactly. So no, I agree with you. Certain movies like that, yes. If I had to go for the 6-man Fright Night, you ever heard of Fright Night?
Yeah. I've not seen. I've only seen it a couple of times, but yeah, it's a classic.
It's arguably the greatest vampire movie of all time. But let's just talk about a scary treat that the Bucs are going to be going against Detroit. Now, first off, like I said on the Angel Martinez show on the Broad Street South Radio, I told people, I got to say this again. I'm very proud of the Detroit Lions. I'm very happy that they are on the come up, that they're actually trying to get.
I think so.
They have and it seems like they have a consistent rise. With all that being said, guys, pump your damn brakes. They ain't there yet. They're not there yet. Out of Jared Goff and maybe 2 other players, they don't have enough just yet. They will get there eventually, but they're not the Eagles or the Niners. So I don't understand this overwhelming view that they're just going to dominate.
I think they beat the Chiefs. I think that's really it. And I think they've beaten teams that a lot of people would consider potential division winners, or and that's it really, I think. Because you've got to remember, we're being slept on as the Bucs. We're currently ranked by, I think it's Fox Sports. I had a look today, even the UK betting system. I can put £5 down and I will get £15 if the Buccaneers win. I was like, that's a fucking easy bet.
Nice.
15 quid just to put a $5 down?
Yeah,
like, we're already halfway, we're already part of the way there. I do not know how we're this disrespected. It's like, I mean, at the end of the day, we want respect, but at the same time, we'll earn our respect. Facts. We'll get our respect when it comes to the end, like it did in the fucking Super Bowl season. What was happening? You have people like Colin Cowherd saying, "Oh well, Tampa Bay is just a collection, a country club of talent that it's just too loosey goosey in Tampa. They just cocktails in the sun, and no one cares. No, it's not a football city. It's not a working man's city. And Tom Brady's just wasted there." And then we win the Super Bowl. And it's like, oh, yeah, the Bucs are really good. So they changed their tune. Trust me. Trust and believe they will change their tune. Now, the good thing that we have going for us, a lot of media people, personalities, not media in general, actually quite like Baker Mayfield as a personality. So I think that does us, like the Nick Wrights of the world, and obviously not Colin Cowherd because he can't stand him. But even he's had to swallow a couple of drops of medicine and go, he's actually playing really good ball in Tampa right now.
Facts. And everything you're saying is correct. I think a lot of the experts are actually, they're happy that he's doing good. They're saying, wow, he's actually shocking me. But me and Rick,
you recalled it. I mean, I was with you to a point because I remember I had my crazy idea of the quarterbacks, like bringing like multiple quarterbacks to camp, right?
Yes.
So, and one of them was Baker. It was like Baker, Gardner Minshew. Those were my 2 guys. I was like, I want to battle between those 3 guys, winner takes all kind of deal. And I personally, I think maybe it's Minshew mania, whatever you want to call it. I have a king because that guy's won. He wins quite often too. Not winning in Indianapolis right now, but look, I'm happy with the results we got. I always knew that Baker's going to do something. I just didn't know. It's like I always said to you, it depends on which Baker turns up because he has the potential to do well. Just like Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is full of potential. The problem is, year after year, you see that he's declining or he makes stupid mistakes. And that's going to make GMs go, no.
Agreed.
And that's kind of what happened with Baker a little bit.
Yes.
He got, once he, I would say, get kicked out, got cut, whatever you want to call the phrase. I don't know if he was traded. I can't remember. But he goes to a dumpster fire team, stinks it up a little bit, which is fair. He did stink it up a little bit, but nobody was successful in that team. So it's not like you can turn around and go, well, it was him. And someone else played better than him. No one played better than him. No one was good in that team, right? And then he goes to the Rams, has a game, he wins one, plays really, really fucking well, and then goes into the next game and doesn't play so well. So what you're looking at is a guy who's bounced around the league really quickly. Like he was trending upwards and then just went straight down. He has the potential.
Yes, he does.
And I always say this, sometimes it's marrying the player with the coach.
Yes.
I think Dave Canales is going to be potentially, fuck it, I'll speak into existence, a phrase that I've always got from you. I think he could be the new quarterback whisperer. If he turns Baker Mayfield around, he has 2 on his resume. 2. Now, we talk about Bruce Arians was the OG quarterback whisperer. Who did he turn around? Carson Palmer, that's it.
Oh, absolutely.
Carson Palmer was the only person that he actually turned around. Everyone else was studs before he got when he got hold of him. Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger. They've all been. He got hold of studs.
Andrew Luck was a good one.
Yeah, but he was a stud as well. He had so much potential. He just got the shit kicked out of him because they weren't willing to invest in line. They just invested in skill and defense.
Yeah, and I want to go back what you were saying about Baker. The thing is with Baker, here's in a nutshell, he kind of reminds me of a lot of quarterbacks that when they get thrown to, they in a way betrayed, and they get thrown away, and then they go somewhere, and you go, oh, okay, it wasn't him, it was the organization. I say that. Remember when Jeff Garcia, when he left San Fran and he went to Cleveland, a lot of people don't remember Jeff Garcia played in Cleveland and did semi-okay, but he didn't set the world on fire, but people thought he was done. He gets to Tampa, and what does he do? Gets the Bucs a playoff. He showed his best. And I give you a better one, Kurt Warner. When Kurt Warner went to New York after the Rams, people thought he was done. People thought his career was cooked, not realizing that the Giants were just shit. That's all. They were shit. And then he went to Arizona with 2 good receivers, and Anquan Bolden, Larry Fitzgerald. It's not a coincidence when you go to good quarterbacks with great potential go somewhere with 2 solid receivers, they're going to be fine. And that's what Baker did. Not only did he fall into the lap of Evans and Godwin, I'm on a team with real defense. That Cleveland shit, Myles Garrett is a beast, but he is only one man. Mm-hmm. You got Shaq Barrett over here, Vita Vea, Antoine Winfield, Levante David, Devin White, Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean. I
always thought they were a mismanaged. I always thought the Browns had so much potential.
Yes.
They were just mismanaged. Through coaching, through a lot of different things. They became dysfunctional because they brought divas into the team. They had some workers like David Njoku, big kind of what he's gone through.
Yeah.
What a fucking guy. The running back duo that they had, the line that they had a decent divas here and there that just mouthed off and just became distraction after distraction. And when it's offensive plays, it affects your quarterback because they're questioning how good your quarterback is. And then when you've got your dad, you're a wide receiver on a team, and your daddy is pulling up your tape going, look, you missed my son on this play, and you missed my son on this play. I said, dude, chill a minute.
And you're calling
go and pick any quarterback's play and go and tell them how many times they missed a certain wide receiver. There's always somebody open. You don't know the scheme. You don't know if you're the first read, and you don't know what happened on the pre-play. So he's looking at it. He's going, right, okay. Oh, the safety's coming down. That looks like he's going to be double covered. So he's going to have he's going to be bracketed. I'm going to just back off from this. I'm going to go to this as my primary read. You don't know any of that, so stop talking like you do. And what has Odell Beckham done since? Nothing. I lie. He won a Super Bowl, but
no. He didn't win shit. He was the cherry on top. He was a part of a winning team. Von Miller won that shit.
That team would have gone far regardless. Like would they win the Super Bowl with him or not? I don't know, but that's a different story. But the question is, he wasn't the only reason, and he isn't, and he's shown us time after time he cannot be trusted because he gets injured too often.
And psychologically, he doesn't have what it takes to persevere. He doesn't have the mental stones to go, you know what? I lost this round. I'm gonna go out there and do something better. No, I'm just gonna start fights and shit and look stupid. And he's a diva. He's an IG honey. That's what IG honeys do when they don't get their way. And when he went to Cleveland, he thought that he was gonna be just the fucking man that everybody was gonna bow down, not realizing, no, bro, this is a whole team thing. What are you doing? And you're messing up the chemistry. Another person is like that was when McCaff was mad at Russell Wilson for not throwing him the rock. And then every time Russell forced it to him, bad things happened. Some of these receivers got to realize you have to do your part and you have to just relax. You're not T.O. You're not Randy Moss. You're not Jerry Rice. You're not a once-in-a-lifetime fucking receiver just because ESPN thinks highly of you. Ain't wrong. And that is Odell's problem. He thought because of that one-hand catch and the way that they were slurping him up, he thought, you know what? I'm entitled to this. That's why we love Mike fucking Evans, number 13. Even when Mike Evans is in the right, he doesn't go on air and blast his team. He says, look, we lose as a team and we win as a team. We'll go back on board. And
that's why it makes him so attractive as a player. You are going to have a guy on your team, and if you use him as a number 2, he ain't gonna cry about it.
Nope.
If you use him as a number 1, obviously he's fine, and he'll help coach up the other guys. Yeah, and if he'll always be there for you. He'll fight through injury. He'll do all of that shit. That's what you want out of a guy. That's what you get with Mike Evans. You 100% get that with Mike Evans. And there aren't many wide receivers at his level. No, I'll take that away because his level is starting to. I say this to people. He's transcending to a level where there's very few people that can talk in that conversation. Yes. Season for season, you could probably pick a wide receiver or a few wide receivers potentially better than him. But as a collective whole, none of them have done what he's done. As a career, his career pisses on. And I've got a nice little bit of information that's just come up to me, and we all know this because everyone knows it. Justin Jefferson might not be able to get 1K yards, which means he will never be able to catch up to Mike Evans. The moment you have a stop and a drop, you're out the conversation. And I said this to you. If Mike Evans continues to even if he retires on the 10th year and says, I'm done, I've done my thing, I've done the thing, 10 years back to back, I'm okay. I don't think that's the case. I think he'll play at least 3 more years.
Agreed.
But let's say he retires there and then. Someone's got to catch up those 10 years because in that time, when he becomes Hall of Fame eligible, if no one's caught him up, there is no argument not to put him in the Hall of Fame. He has the ring. He has something that never been done before, the 10K, 10 1,000-yard seasons. So when they have these arguments in that room, they'll sit there and go, you can turn around and go, no one's done what he's done. Give me there's no one. No one's catching him up. No one's catching him up. He has the ring. We put him in there. Shut the fuck up. Let's go.
Facts. And that's all it's about, guys. This is what we care about what you can consistently bring to the table. How many receivers have we seen through the history of the NFL that were one-year wonders, then they get a big ass fucking injury, Cooper Kupp, sorry, and then they're done. Michael Thomas, you had one guy who was a high volume receiver, and then after that, they're cooked. That doesn't always translate to you being the best. That just means you had a hell of a season. And we got to remember.
We do this every time we come on this show. We always slap it out and we prove to people. It's like, yes, I think Cooper Kupp is an amazing wide receiver. However, he only has 2 1K seasons in his entire career. So that means he was special like the best one time, just like Michael Thomas.
Yep.
And he was very, 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 very good another time. Other than that, he's been what's considered, I'll use a turn of phrase, a jag.
A jag, yes, a jag. Exactly. I love it. Yeah, just a guy, right. And
to begin with, yeah.
And that is the thing. And another story that people don't like to say, I asked him, okay, well, what did you do when the playoffs came around? No, that don't. Wait a minute. You're supposed to be the best receiver, right? You had a hell of a season. How come when the postseason comes up and about, you shit the bed, or your stats are supremely low to the point where it's like, did you even matter? Mike Evans can prove otherwise. Mike Evans was a dog in each of the Super Bowl run. Washington making catches out of nowhere.
The Green Bay game, the Saints game.
Oh, that catch over Lattimore is legendary. And then when he sat on him and Lattimore got mad, so he tried to push him off again.
He lay down.
Exactly. Again, when it matters the most, that is what great players do. Jerry Rice was that kind of guy. Even T.O., and he didn't win it, but we know that was his quarterback, not him, because he produced. But that is, like you said, it's about what you do when it matters too. Nobody gives a shit. I'll take a wide receiver that can give me like 70 to 85 yards a game and a touchdown. Then a guy every other time he'll give you like maybe 165 yards, but that's it. He got a lot of yards, and that's it. That ain't shit. It's about who can get me the first of all the W, and that's Evans. Evans has the mindset of, we got the W, right? Yeah, okay, good. Because then the next game, I'll do my damn thing. And I'm glad we're bringing this offensive side of the ball up, because I truly think that people are going to sleep on this offense. As you said, Canales is that whisper. You know why? I think he's going to polish this offense up tomorrow and throw some shit in there that they don't know. And Evans is guys, don't worry. He's a lot healthier than what you think. But
playing that game.
Yes, when we played the sorry ass Saints and we saw that, we're just marching at will, they probably told Evans, there's no need. You're not needed. The game is over. We got this shit, dog. We need you for Detroit. That is the real team right there. That's a bigger threat. And I'm not here to tell you guys that Detroit isn't a threat. Oh, they are, but Detroit, I think, in my opinion, I could be wrong, Slick, but I think they're coming in at a level where they're a little overconfident, in my opinion. And wait a minute, I think we got.
We gotta get. I'm gonna bring this boy in. Here we go. We get JT Olsen live in charge.
Hey,
what's up? Well, first off, I gotta say this: you're doing the damn thing. I'm proud, but I owe you an apology. You said it. As of right now, Gedeke is playing his ass off.
Yeah. You be fair, JT, you called that shit from the moment he moved.
Yes.
All your from your preseason where we were saying, he looked a bit rough.
Yes.
You put out your piece, you put your reputation on the line, and you went, no, this cat is actually good. And so far, it's coming to fruition. The Buccaneers are one of the best passing blocking units in all of football.
And did you see how he abused Cam? Now that was a beautiful moment. Cam looked lost and frustrated when Cam was doing this and all Gedeke was like, get your little ass back. Get your ass back. Get your ass back. Get your ass back. I was sitting there like, oh my God, Cam is irrelevant. He turned him from Cam to Scram. His new name now is Scram Jordan. Scram. Skedaddle. How you doing on tonight, my man?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I can't take too much credit on Gedeke because he's played even better than I expected him to. He's shutting down Danielle Hunter. He's shutting down Yannick Ngakoue. He's shutting down Hassan Reddick. I mean, no one's cracking the Luke Gedeke code.
No, I mean the outside, the edges of the line seem to be the most protected part, which is literally insane when you think about it, where we were last year, where we had a revolving door and we had this one stud on one side and we were trying to get this guard to be a guard, and all it took was to make him become his natural position, and it just seems to have worked. So I'm going to ask you, you've been on the Luke Getsy train since day one, and I know you have because you pumped this guy when we drafted him. How does it feel to know a little bit of smug mode involved? Because it's got to feel pretty good, because there are people who 100% doubt, and I think I had some doubts too. I mean, I'm a big version of like, let's see what I see on the field before I say that it's crap. If I see it's crap, I'll call it crap. So I was a bit more like, I'll see, I'll have a look.
It feels good. I won't lie. I had some doubts too. You moving from guard to tackle. Which is he going to play? Moving him around like that, it's not great for development. You want to pick a position and go with it. But, you got the physical tools to play. He's a really good athlete coming out of college. He's got the right mentality. I like to bet on, the physical skill set. And, his technique is typically good. So he had everything I'm looking for in a prospect. Short arms aside. I knew this guy was going to be successful at guard or tackle. Wherever they wanted to put him, I really felt he'd be successful.
Wow, yeah, you called it all right. And I like that his confidence is getting up more and more. You can clearly see that he shows no fear. You can see that he believes in his team. And also, the good thing is with Baker scrambling, it helps the line as well. And it pumps them up. It fires them up, especially seeing their quarterback take a hit for them. In their mind, it's like, I fucking love it, but I don't want him to have to go through that. Let me block better so he can actually get this pass going.
Yeah, Baker's making the line look really good, with his natural mobility, and Dave Canales is making the line look good. The way he's scheming some of this stuff with the play action and the bootlegs, and the whole line's blocking down, and maybe there's one free rusher but doesn't know where to go. He's making the defense make decisions, and that's making life easy for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you this, because you're the line expert right now. What is your confidence for this Bucs O-line percentage-wise going up against this Detroit line percentage-wise?
The offensive line I feel good about. There is not a pass rusher on this Lions defensive line that scares me outside of Aiden Hutchinson. And I think this is a favorable matchup for the Bucs because I don't think Hutchinson's better than Tristan Wirfs. I know Aiden's leading the whole NFL in pressures, but this is a different animal. He has not gone up against Tristan Wirfs. Even Luke Getsy, I think that's going to be a really good matchup because they're both good athletes. They're both a little short-armed. It's going to be strength on strength, technique on technique. And I think, both guys will have their wins, but I think this is really a favorable matchup for the Buccaneers offensive line.
I think I couldn't agree anything else. And I'm glad that you brung up that Hutchinson fella. Because when I asked other people on Twitter, give me anybody else outside of this Detroit line beside Hutchinson, most people couldn't give me a name. That's because the Detroit lines are not there yet. The Bucs line, Vita Bea. These guys, they're damn near household. But you're right. It's almost a lose-lose. If you're Detroit, do you really want to try to put Hutchinson up against Wirfs? Because that's a loss. I think that would be an automatic loss. Getsy is damn near an automatic loss. Now, you have a better chance with Getsy, but that's slim to none. I think they're going to try to use Hutchinson and move him around. Now, if you were a guy,
I agree.
Yeah, they're going to move him around, but I don't think it's going to matter. Now, I tell you this, they better not try to get cute and get Buck and try to say, well, we're going to use him against Wirfs, because if they try to use him against Wirfs early in the game, the Bucs offense is going to move the ball on Detroit easily, because if I'm smart, I'll just go to this side and be like, you know what? Wirfs got him. And worst case scenario, if I'm not comfortable, we'll chip Hutchinson. So now let's get to the defensive side. What is your stance on the Bucs defensive line percentage-wise versus Detroit's offensive line?
I got to be honest, I favor Detroit's offensive line a little bit in this matchup, just because they are such a dominant run-blocking team. And Vita V is great, and I think Frank right now is a top 2 center in the game right now, and that's still an advantage for V. But it's not just Frank versus Vita V. It is a double team every time. It's going to be Ragnow and Glasgow, or Ragnow and Vaitai. And they're they're all powerful run blockers on that Lions offensive line. And I haven't even mentioned their offensive tackles. Penei Sewell, outside of Tristan Norris, he's the best young tackle in the game. Might be a top 3 tackle in the NFL today. So
no, I agree. I think that's fair.
I think V is a favorable matchup, but this is not where I want to break in Kalijah Kancey as a run defender. This is not where I want to test Logan Hall as a run defender. I would love to see a lot more Greg Gaines because he has the power, he has the beef to go toe-to-toe with guys like that. So I'll go double nose in this game, and I think that's the best case scenario. And then work guys like Hall and Kancey in on those passing situations. Let them do what they do best. Don't let them get out-muscled by this powerful run-blocking line.
Absolutely. I absolutely love what you just said because it's kind of, you just echoed everything I'm thinking. It's like, this is a good run-blocking team, so Greg Gaines, he is like another Vita Vea in a lot of ways. He was the nose tackle, I believe, for the Rams in their full front. So he's got the power. So you're then looking at who's my next powerfulest defensive lineman other than Vita Vea in this gentleman, and you're probably going to go down the world of experience, and it's probably going to be Will Golston. That would, to me, be your power set, and then I would sub those 2 guys on the side out on passing sets for Hall and Kancey, so they can kind of get home a little bit. And if occasionally a run gets popped in there, you can see what they can do here and there. I'd sprinkle them in, and if they can hold their own, then let them get more and more reps as they go. But I think go at the start, I'd probably go with the Will Golston, Vita Vea, and Greg Gaines right now.
Yeah, you guys are making both facts. Now, this is where I think the key guy that's going to kill them in the passing, that's going to devastate Detroit because they're not ready, is Kancey. Kancey is going to be a shock because he has the speed and the burst to get to them. And as you just said, JT and Slick, once Vita gets double, because you're going to have to. If you don't, that's just disrespectful. Kancey is going to make a way. So he's going to be the secret gem in the trenches. But, guys, let's look at it like this. That linebacker core is going to whoop some ass.
Mm-hmm.
Devin White.
That's what we have going for us that gives us, I think, the extra edge. And it's going to be, for me, the interesting matchup here is going to be who they put on the other side. We know Shaq Barrett will do his thing, and he's probably going to go against their best best offensive tackle. Is it Sewell or Sewell?
Sewell.
So I wasn't sure of the pronunciation. I barely follow other teams. I'm aware. I just don't know the pronunciation sometimes.
Well, I live up here in Michigan, so I hear these names regularly. I listen to a lot of Detroit media, big Red Wings fan, big Pistons guy, Tiger. So I hear all the Lions talk up here.
Oh, yeah. And guys, we got one more person that is the real cherry on top. Antoine Winfield can stop the run or the pass. If I'm Bowles this time and you want to run the rock, I think, in my opinion, they're going to try to replicate what the Eagles did to the Bucs. If your Bowles, be smart a little bit. Make Goff beat you. Load that damn box and see what he does. Because statistically right now, Goff is not good against the blitz. So if you bring an Antoine Winfield, wink, in there, he might just fold under pressure and throw a pick. Or if, wink, and Antoine Winfield fakes blitz, he backs up and pulls a Rondé Barber. Pick 6, housing. This is the game where Detroit, I think, in my opinion, they're going to try to replicate the Eagles. But remember, they're still not the Eagles yet. I like Montgomery. Montgomery's not swift. He's not swift at all. Montgomery is a guy, he's gritty, but he's not swift. Swift can be gritty, but also finesse you as well. And then I think one of their other running backs are out, because I got the injury report right here. Guys, Detroit they're kind of hurting. I
want JT to react to each name because I don't know who they are. So and that's no disrespect to other teams. It's just I have a busy lifestyle. I have 2 children and I have a lot of shit going on. So
I can relate.
Some of these names will be lower depth charts. I know some of these names will be big names, but I want JT to react because he said he's around it. How big is it? So reel them off, AJ.
DB Brian Branch out.
Big one.
RB Jomri Gibbs out.
Pretty big. He was their 12th overall pick in the draft. He's an Alvin Kamara type. They haven't used him as much as I thought he was, but it's a big loss.
OG Jonah Jackson out.
One of the better guards in the NFL. Huge loss.
Wow. Okay, that means you can pressure the middle.
RB Zonovan Knight out.
Good depth running back.
Tight end James Mitchell out.
Nice third string tight end, pass catcher.
Emmanuel Mosley out.
He only played like a half of football. He was a big-time free agent from the 49ers. He was supposed to be one of their better corners. He never got healthy. He was recovering from an ACL, and he blew out his other ACL as soon as he got on the field. It sucks for him, but It's a big loss.
DL Josh Paschal out.
Allegedly a big loss. They drafted him to be a big-time pass rusher. I just haven't seen it from him.
Okay. Tight end Sam Laporta, questionable.
He's been one of the better tight ends in the NFL as a rookie. So if he doesn't play, it's a very big loss.
DB Khalil Dorsey, questionable.
Special teams guy, I think.
So at that reaction, JT, that's not a good look for Detroit, would you say?
I would agree.
Yeah, I think the loss of Jonah Jackson, even though I really like their depth at guard, they have Graham Glasgow is a starter on some other teams in the NFL. He's coming in as their backup guard. But Jackson's a huge loss. Brian Branch, I thought, was a top 5 player in the draft. He is a lockdown nickel. And everything Chris Isian has been from us, Brian Branch has been that for the Lions. And he is just an awesome, awesome player. And it sucks for the Lions that he's not going to be there. And I wish they had him because I want to play this team at full strength because I think they're so balanced and evenly matched. But it's a huge loss.
But this is why I was telling people this will go another way for the Bucs, because now that you said that, with Branch being out, 2 guys I got in mind where I'm like, oh, let's put you in.
This is what I was going to ask JT. So now you know who's out, and the weakness is. I hate saying the word weakness, but I'll say it my way. The developmental areas of their game are significantly softened. Where do you think the Buccaneers could take advantage, JT?
I think they can take advantage through the air. I don't trust the back 7 of this Lions defense. Cam Sutton's a nice corner. I think Kirby Joseph is a ball hawk free safety. These linebackers, they're athletic run stuffers. They haven't really proven themselves in coverage. Guys like Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell's a rookie. Derek Barnes is a run stuffer athlete. And they have no one who can cover Mike Evans. Even at full strength, no one can match up with Evans.
AJ, I've got your medicine here, and this is the medicine that will help the Buccaneers win. It's called a crossing route.
Look, he was ready for it. Look, JT, I am a madman because when it comes to crossing routes, mine is not simple. Or I'm gonna get you with something. If I am the Bucs right now in the pass game, you called it. In the slot, Godwin or Palmer. Pick your poison.
I wouldn't even go Godwin and Palmer. I'd go with Godwin. I'd either go with Godwin or Palmer, and I'd go down the tight end route.
Of course.
Just like JT said, their backers have not been proven against. So let's see what our tight end can do.
Agreed. Now you're right, but I'm with you, air attack. But this is why I think now this is where Canales and Bowles have got to understand. And JT, please, if you agree or disagree, say otherwise. Early in the first half, you have to be aggressive offensively and defensively. This is not a game where you can test them out, put them away early, break their spirit early.
I think they will, though. Early. I think they will because it's their MO. It's what we do.
But this is what
we always have.
If I'm
I don't know about offense because I think offense is still figuring out their shit out, but defense, we always play to figure out what they're trying to do, and then we lock it down later. Yes, I agree with you, AJ. Sometimes it bites us in the ass, and we give up a score. Sometimes it just turns into a field goal. Sometimes it turns into nothing. But it's kind of the Buccaneers' MO. We always give up one early, and then it becomes shut down after that. If you watch Buccaneer football, that's kind of what we do. We kind of go, first drive, field goal or touchdown, right? And then after that, it becomes extremely difficult for them to score unless they're really high-powered. I just don't see that changing just because I believe that's the core philosophy of the defense, and I don't think you're ever going to see that change.
JT? That's good, Slick.
Yeah, I think getting up on this Lions team early would be a huge advantage. Jared Goff is a very good game manager if he has good situation around him. A great offensive line. He feels comfortable back there. He can, dink and dunk, pick you apart. He's not a dynamic quarterback. If they can't run the ball and control the clock and play their game, they're not built to come back on anyone. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think he's one of the best 15 wide receivers in the game, maybe a top 10 wide receiver. He's a possession guy. He is, Hines Ward. He is Larry Fitzgerald in the slot. He reminds me a lot of Chris Godwin, minus a little bit of that speed. He's not a game breaker. He's a guy who's going to catch 9 balls for 130 yards.
And dot them up the field slowly.
Yep. He'll get you 8 first downs a game, but he's not that game changer. He's not going to flip the field in one play. So if you get up on this Lions team 10 points at halftime, that really puts them behind the 8 ball.
Agreed. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think if I'm Canales, this is one of those games you make it an exception. Yes, you want to run the ball. You want to establish a balanced offense. We've heard that shit all the time, but this is the game where we've heard that. But this
I completely agree with you, AJ.
This is that game where Canales says, damn that. We're going to do what JT just said. Aerial assaults on these Bamas. They are weak. Branch being out is a major deficit to them because now you don't have a guy. And like you said, this could get a chance for Mike Evans to eat early. If Mike Evans eats early, now I think this Detroit defense secondary will go into panic mode. Shit, we have to stop Evans. That's where Kyle says, I'm glad you did that. Godwin, Otten, Palmer, hell, throw some Tompkins in there because Thompson is good at the short, gritty passes.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. You get up on this team, JT, 10-0 in the first quarter, the game's over. This is why they're not built to throw like that. Goff has never been that guy. The last time we played Goff, what happened to him? We embarrassed him in L.A. We picked him off. Shaq Barrett picked him off, and then Shaq Barrett stripped him, and the beloved Sue picks up the ball and runs it in, and we throw up a 50-burger on the Rams. So you're right, JT. If I'm you guys, I just feel like this. Be aggressive first. Now, I know Slick Bowles might not, but he might shock us one time. Maybe.
Don't get me wrong. If they don't execute well on their first drive, it doesn't matter. He's not going to let them score. My point being is he likes to – I've always said so there's something about Coach Bowles about, like, it's almost like he uses the first drive as a diagnosis. And then after that, it's kind of like, this is what they're doing to us. And I think it's because on a lot of offensive coordinators – when they script their first plays, these are their most successful. This is their core belief almost. No one's going to play their dog shit on the first drive. No one's going to do that because why do it? You're setting yourself a failure. You're putting your best foot forward at the start of the game. So he knows that, and he's going to go, all right, I want to see what you're going to do. So I'm going to give you a little bit of leeway. I'm going to give you a little bit of space because I get to see the routes you're running. I get to see what your defense is capable of. I get to see your blocking scheme. I get to see everything right here, right now, what you're trying to do to me. Not what you're trying to do to this team, that team, that team, and that team. What you're trying to do to me. Because it's all about what you want to do to that team. And don't get me wrong, there's a consistent theme. They'll look at certain plays and go, right, they ran this play like 5 times in this game, 3 times in that game, 5 times in that game, 5. It's consistent. We're going to look out for this shit. That's basically how it runs, right? This is how I just believe that's his core fundamentals of what he believes in as a coach. I'm going to show you some things, and I'm going to let you have a little bit of success. But that success will bite you in the ass because you're going to show me your entire hand.
I feel that. That's good, Slick. Because we
want them to like kill that shit dead. But if they have a shit drive, they have a shit drive.
That's all I say. This is brought to you by AJ Turnoffs. No cushion, because we need to push.
We definitely need to get a company that does pillows or cushions or something as a sponsor because I think it would be hilarious.
This is a cause for
brought to you by No Cushion.
Damn the cushion! I need the pushing. That's all I'm saying. And I want to.
I get that reference 100% now.
And I want to ask you this, JT, and both of you guys, but I want to start with you first because you're a cool guest. I'm going to give you the Detroit wins, and tell me a team that you were like, yeah, Detroit they'd be a legitimate contender. The Chiefs. Now, mind you, Chris Jones and Kelsey wasn't playing. Let's get that shit out the way. The Seahawks, they lost to them. The Falcons, the Packers, the Panthers. If in your true opinion, now we love that Detroit is winning these games, but is there any team that they played that so far that you're like, they're like Eagles and 49ers status?
I'll be honest, no. I still give them a lot of credit for that Kansas City win because Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and I know giving Andy Reid extra time to prepare is like a death sentence. He's like 40-5 with extra time to prepare. So even no Chris Jones, no Travis Kelce. I know they had a pick six in that game that went right off the receiver's hands and into Brian Branch's hands. It was really, you catch that Chiefs team a different day. Chiefs are probably winning 8 out of 10 times. But I still give them a little bit of props for that one. But no, it hasn't been a strong schedule for them so far.
But you could say the same for the Bucs as well. I mean, who would be?
But remember, the Bucs were already deemed to lose these games. Remember?
Yeah, I get you. I'm just talking about like what we're considering as fans of football. What's a difficult win versus a good win? Yeah, absolutely. The Buccaneers' schedule versus what the perception of how good the Buccaneers are, they've exceeded expectations. Whereas I believe the Lions are exactly where the media expects them to be.
Right, and that's why there was, and Acho said this, guys. If you guys didn't catch it, this was very real. He said, "I like them," but he said, "But how good is good?" He said, "We've seen that in the past, but let's see them take it up another notch." Because he said we've seen teams like this before that looks like they're good, and he said it. The Detroit, these next 2 games will determine where they really are. The Bucs defense and the Ravens defense is no joke. That's why I told people the Detroit Lions have not faced a defense like the Bucs. As much as I get mad about this, Slick is right, JT. Bowles is a mastermind chess player with this. He will let you score the first drive, and you guys and that team thinks, oh yeah, we got this. This is all day. And Bowles is like, I got you where I want. He give you that little villain hand. I got you where I want you now. Oh yeah, you gonna run this way? Even better. So when that red zone get in here, you're gonna have to take it 3, or we're just gonna get a turnover. So Detroit, I think that honestly, Detroit has more to lose than the Bucs in this game. Would you guys agree? Because if Detroit loses, this makes them go, okay, you're not ready yet. The Bucs lose, okay, you were supposed to lose this game. So in y'all opinion, JT, what happens in your opinion if Detroit does take a loss? Do you think they can bounce back, or is this going to be a few setback moments?
No, I think Detroit will bounce back just fine if they lose. I know they haven't proven themselves yet, and every week is a new test, but I legitimately believe this Detroit team is for real, and they could get hot and make a run to the NFC Championship game. I think this game right here, this is a battle for the 3 seed in the NFC this year, because I expect the Lions to dominate their division. The NFC North stinks, and I expect the Bucs to win their division. So I think there are playoff implications here.
Absolutely fucking agree with that. I think you nailed it on the head. And I said this in mine and AJ show, and I said this is like the second test. Okay, we've seen that we can live in that world of the top tier. We didn't get embarrassed. We got our noses blooded a little bit by one of the better teams, but we can learn from it and grow from it, right? And that's always good. This is another test. And I'm not saying that like they are the test, but it's like, who is in the hierarchy of football in the NFC? Who is the true 3 seed? Because we know we know 1 and 2 is pretty much done. Unless one of them has some major issues later on and they plummet, we know that the 1 and 2 is going to battle against each other. But this is the other battle, the 3 and 4. Are we going to be a 3 seed or are we going to be a 4 seed? That's the argument. And this is that battle. This is where the line is drawn in the sand. This is where we turn around and go, how good really are we? Are we a 4 seed team that might just scrape a playoff win? Or are we a 3rd seed that could potentially play off more future down the line? You beat Detroit, who I do believe they're in the playoffs and they'll win their division. I 100% believe that, right? So you know they're going to be at least, again, the third or the fourth seed. This is the point. You become the third seed, you're going to win a playoff game. Could you punch above your weight and maybe knock out one of the other people and go to a Super Bowl? Because there's only 2 people above you, mind. And one of them you've already played, so you've seen a few of their cards. You've seen the hand that they like to doubt. You're a little bit healthier. Maybe you win that game. Maybe you've learned more. The Buccaneers got embarrassed by the KC Chiefs, and we reversed that shit. The Buccaneers got embarrassed by the New Orleans Saints, and we reversed that shit. Coach Bowles doesn't always make the same mistake twice. That's one thing you can always say about him. And I look at all the stuff that he's done for this team. So close we've been in games where our defense has barely given up anything more than 21 points. That, in this day and age of a passing league, that is crazy good. People just don't realize how good that actually is. And on top of that, you nullify a running game, so you have to pass. Okay, well, you're gonna win passes occasionally. It's gonna happen. It's just that type. The game is set up for the pass game to win. You can't touch nobody no more. We were talking in our last one about I believe Rick said that about your crossing routes. Well, you're not going to do that if you have an athletic linebacker. We can't touch him. What's he going to do? Can't touch him. 5 yards. All I got to do is run 6. You can't touch me. You touch me, it's going to be a call on you. So the game is set up for the pass to win. That's why when you see people get angry over defensive backs not doing their job, you do realize they are poised to lose. And when they do win, that's why we celebrate it, because we know it is the most, and I will say this hand on heart, I don't know if everyone, the room agrees with me on this, defensive back is the most athletic position in football, and it is the most hardest position to play in football, because if the run breaks out, and I've been on teams and I've seen this, the run breaks out and it's going down the field and it's fucking going for about 50 yards and the cornerback misses the tackle. Everyone's like, dude, you let him run in for a touchdown. So, whoa, hang on. You gotta get past the D-line. He's gonna get past the force, and then he's gonna get past the secondary force. Like, seriously, he's gonna get past the alley. He's gonna get past all this shit, and it's apparently the DB's fault that this guy broke off a 60-yard touchdown. And I don't know. And when it's in the past, like, you're gonna lose occasionally. The wide receiver knows where he's going. The game is set up. You can't touch the wide receiver. I do like, there are some referees are more stricter. Some referees are a bit softer on it. I prefer the softer side because I think it gives it a little bit more old school ball. Let them play. Let them fight for it. Let them fight for the ball. I like that. That's just my vibe. Yeah, all I'm saying is, guys, now finish off my point because I realize I've been rambling. This Buccaneers defense is designed to win right now and minimize points. This is the game where we see where we really stand at. Where do we sit in the NFC pecking order? Are we a 4th seed or are we a 3rd seed? And that is massive because the 3rd seed can go on. I'm not saying the 4th seed can't do nothing, but the 3rd seed can punch above its weight. Anyone can punch above its weight, but when you're that 3rd seed, people got to respect you. Got to be respected the 3rd seed. That's all I'm saying.
And to add a little more pressure on that, the Lions have an incredibly easy schedule this year compared to the Bucs. I think their hardest games left are the Ravens, the Chargers, and the Cowboys. Hey, they don't have to play the 49ers.
Only one of those games I'm like, damn, that's a fucking shit game. I mean, I would have probably said the Cowboys if we were talking like week 1, I'd say, the Cowboys could be good. But what we're seeing from the Cowboys now, I'm like, what we're seeing from the Chargers now.
And they get the Chargers after a bye, so that's another advantage for the Lions.
And what do the Chargers really have?
They have a good quarterback.
That's it, and they got offensive weapons, but
they have a quarterback who can't do the. No, they got a defense that can't.
Bosa, it's honestly it's hit and miss right now. Like you said with the Chargers, what's in the Chargers' way is coaching.
And the Chargers will charge, and then they will just drop down.
Exactly. The Chargers are literally the AFC Vikings.
I feel for them though because they're kind of like this Lions team right now, right?
I say the
They have
Vikings.
so much fucking talent. They should be good. Like, it's mind-boggling that they're as bad. They got a better quarterback than us. Okay, that's that on paper. On paper, AJ.
Oh, Herbert's a dog.
I can see you looking at me going,
No, Herbert's a dog.
what do you say about my quarterback?
No, Herbert's the dog. Herbert is the dog.
Yeah, and he is, right. Their wide receivers aren't good, but they're not as good as, I wouldn't put them as good as ours, but they're on the table as a very legitimate, very good wide receiving core.
Yep,
I'm not too sure what their tight end. They have an elite running back right now. I'm not sure on their line. I don't grade other people's lines. I probably go. I'm simple. When I look at other teams, I just look at their skill and defensive line, because I'm a defensive dude. And their defense has got good skill players. I don't know about their defensive line. Their defensive line is as good as it should be. Their linebacking core, I'm not sure on either. Defensive backs, they got some backs there. They just traded one away. I don't know why, but I guess he doesn't want to be there.
Well, so JT, but I know you said they'll bounce back, but let's say this: they lose back-to-back games against the Bucs defense and the Ravens defense. It not a panic, but is that something of a concern? Would that be a concern for this team?
Yeah,
I mean, a little, because you never want to lose 2 in a row.
Yes.
But I mean, right now they're sitting at 4-1, and the next closest team in their division is Green Bay at 2-3, 2-4. So they have a comfortable lead. Even if they drop 2 in a row, they'll still have first place in their division. And then they have a lot of division games left. They still have to play the Bears twice, the Vikings twice. Those are 1-win football teams right now. So, you never want to. You feel good about losing 2 in a row, but I would still.
They're guaranteed at minimum the 4th seed, is what you're saying.
I'd feel very confident in saying that.
Yeah, and I agree.
I put a bet on it, because I think it's right now it's legit. Like they'd have to be very poor. I get where you're going with AJ. Like, you're looking at the downward spiral, but I look at this Lions team as a little bit like how we were in that 2020. I'm not saying they're going to go on and win a Super Bowl. What I'm saying is they've had some moments. This is almost like, I wouldn't say this is their year, but this is like their build it up year, right?
Yeah.
To see where they really, where do we really stack? And the NFL wants them to succeed as well.
Yeah, I agree. No, and I agree. And I just think at this moment they're 2 to 3 more star pieces away from being that contender dog, where it's like, oh, okay, they're ready. They're about 2-3 players left. I think they need 2 more stars on defense and 1 more star on offense, and then they're ready to go. I just think that I just love the fact that it's just crazy, but the disrespect though from the media about this is, well, Detroit is, and they're not even taking the fact that, wait a minute, you're looking at a Bucs team that's at the best health that they've been thus far.
I see this as like a Titanic battle, because both teams have the same record. Both teams are the top of their division. This is no wonder it's America's game, right? Because it should be fun to watch. And a part of me, like from the viewership point of view, I hope it's close. I hope one team nicks it. From the NFL fan point of view. Of course, I want us to run away with it and fucking absolutely bury them, because I want to win the fucking game. And it's easier to do when you're stomping a team. But I think this game is bigger than a lot of people think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's as big as to the Bucs that it is to the Lions.
Facts.
I think the Bucs will bounce back no problem, because they've been in these situations. They've gone, like JT said, it's tough to take 2 in a row. Okay, that's fine. But the Buccaneers have been in a situation where they've dropped 3 in a row and have won a Super Bowl. And those players are still on that team. There's a lot of players still on that team. So I think losing would affect the Buccaneers less than it would affect the Lions. I think the Buccaneers would just be like business as usual. Okay, no one's going home after the facility. There's no veteran days. We're fucking working until we start fucking winning.
Yes.
That would be the kind of mindset. Because we've noticed this with Coach Bowles. We used to almost have like a country club vibe about it, where players would just be like, yeah, I'm old. No, have a couple of days off. All right, yeah, I got my veteran day off. Cool. Now it looks like veteran days have been stopped, and it's work mode and work mode and work mode only.
Absolutely, and that's why I think for the Bucs, it should mean something. You beat a team like this, You stop the momentum. I love when the Bucs stop a team that's on the momentum, because now you pause them, and I agree with you both. Detroit can bounce back, but that this win might cause Detroit to lose that one game that gives the Bucs the advantage of being the third seed and not the fourth.
That's what I think you're right in that sense, because I do generally believe if they may go double, they could go double losses, right? And that once you have that double loss, the Buccaneers have got the win advantage over you. So if you ever tie break, Buccaneers also automatically win. And now you're another game down. So all of a sudden, the Buccaneers are 4-1, and you are all of a sudden 3-3, right?
No, 4-3. 4-3.
4-3, right? So you're 4. So I forget that there's a week that went past, and I just completely forgot. Yeah. So you're 4-3, still on the winning record, but there's a gap, right? And you have to make that up.
There's a gap, and also, like you said, with that being said, that one game, the Bucs got their schedule isn't super difficult right now. I know people are like, "Oh wait, the Bucs go to fucking Atlanta." JT, we all can agree on this. We're stomping Atlanta, because if you try to run on us, the Bucs are built to stop the run. Riddler is a joke. They should call him the Riddler, because it's a question mark. Why are you playing? You had a guy who was like a practice squad receiver cussing you out. So if in hindsight, the Bills are tough. Don't get it twisted. They're tough. I don't know. That's a 50-50 game, but even then, by then, the Panthers are butt sauce. We know that. Hell,
here's my trap game, though. Texans.
I say this. I don't think it'll be a trap game. This is why the Bucs have too much talent.
It's not that. It's not that trap. It doesn't matter how talented you are. A trap game, it affects everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone has a trap game. The Raiders occasionally beat the KC Chiefs. Trap games exist. And I just think it could be one of those, because their quarterback's playing well.
He is. He's playing very well.
And I generally think, and I mean this more if the Buccaneers win more. If the Buccaneers go into that game where they've not lost, that could be a trap game. Now, if they've lost, that kind of sets your mind, that sets your defense, that resets everyone's mind to go, we got to go get this, right? When you're in winning mode, you kind of coast a little bit. And I don't care what anyone says. Like, it doesn't matter how many times the coach goes, guys, we got to focus. Believe me, people fucking daydream. It's what they fucking do. It's just a part of life. You know, as much as we'd like everyone to be programmable, it doesn't work that way. There are guys looking ahead. They're not looking at this team. Great teams figure it out the time. That's what made Tom Brady great for us. When we were down against those kind of games where, for example, the Chargers, when we played the Chargers back in the 2020 season, and they were fucking whooping us.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady gave his little fuck. You could see him walking up and down the sideline. He's mouthing at people and shit. And everyone's like, oh, Tom Brady's not happy. We go and win that game. He's able to project and push that team. I'm not saying we don't have that leadership. I'm just thinking this could be the one of those games we could just pip it, because we could just be on the up and up too much. You know, when you think about it, guys, the Buccaneers going into that game would be what? 5-1?
Yeah. If they go into that game, no. They beat, if the Bucs win that game, yeah, they would be 4-1, 5-1, 6-1. They would be 6-1.
That's what I mean. It's so easy for the players to underestimate it and just get a little bit shell-shocked if they come out firing.
Okay, so JT, I feel you, Slick. Hey, he a coach, y'all. Pay attention. He knows these things. He knows his players. JT, how do you feel about that? Do you feel the same about the Texans being a trap game?
A little bit, because CJ Stroud is playing better than any rookie quarterback I've ever seen. But at the same time, this is such a veteran group. You know, they've been there, they've done that. They've been at the bottom of the league. They've been at the top of the league. I don't see a veteran team like this overlooking anybody. They might. I mean, I don't expect anyone in the NFC South to be good. So the Texans, the Titans, you know, the Colts, you know, those are all potential trap games. But I think with the likes of Mike Evans and Tristan Wirfs and Levante David and, you know, Big V and Shaq Barrett, there's just too many guys who know what it's about.
Same here. I agree with you. I feel like, if anything, the Bucs would want to go on a tear then. And Slick got a point though. It could go either way. It could go to
That's
the
what I mean.
point
I'm not. Hey, I would like us to win every freaking game from this point. I'm just looking at potential pit holes, and you always got to look at the team that nobody expects to beat you as the team that could beat you.
Yeah.
You go through that list, right? If anyone's betted and you do that parlay and you're like, I know who's gonna win. I know who's gonna. I'm only gonna pick the teams that I think will guarantee me a win. And you're going favorite. At least two of them will fuck you over.
True.
That's my point, and that's my point. There will be a team where. The Jets, when we played the Jets, we in no way, shape, or form should have ever even been in a conversation with the Jets.
Never.
In that time, right?
Never.
Should never have been in that conversation. And that's what I'm saying. All it takes is a team that catches you off guard and you just can't get it right. They're always with a good defense.
Yeah.
The offense is struggling. Your defense is giving up a score.
Yeah.
It becomes dogged. It's all it takes for those close games. And Buccaneers play close games. We don't win games 50 to fucking 25. We win games 26 to 22. We win games 17 to 21.
I agree. Now, with that being said, guys, JT, do you think the Bucs, they beat the Detroit Lions this game? Do you think that it helps their odds of being more favorites for future games going on?
Yeah, I think it'll definitely help the perception of the Bucs nationwide. I know in here in Michigan, listening to Detroit talk all week, the Bucs talk about this as a potential trap game, not as the playoff preview that it is, not with the playoff implications. Is this a trap game? Or are we overlooking the Bucs? Because a lot of the talk here is, the Bucs are better than we thought, but it's Baker Mayfield. This is a double-digit win. So I think to smack a team like the Lions in the mouth, this is America's darling right now. Everyone's rooting for the
Lions. 100%. This game does nothing but, if Buccaneers walk away with a 1-point win, this does nothing but add to our credibility.
Yeah, and let alone like a 10-point win, 14-point win. I think this game will be close. I really do. I think it's going to be a 3-4 point game. Okay. But if the Bucs blow the doors off, they've had 2 weeks to prepare. They're the healthier team. They're at home. It's the Creamsicle game. There's a lot playing in their favor. So if they really whoop on the Lions, I think that'll change the perception of the Bucs are better than we thought they were. They're a cute little team down there to, okay, the Bucs are for real.
And I tell you this, JT, this is why I have the Bucs being the better team and actually blowing the doors off of them, because preparation. That offense is going to be more polished than what to expect. Mike Evans coming in there. This is a team that this ain't the Byron Leftwich era anymore, guys. Let that shit go. Byron
is out.
Yes, you played with Byron, he'd be like Flight of the Bumblebee. But coach, they have Brian Branches out. I said Flight of the Bumblebee, HB counter up the middle. I don't care if they see it. We're gonna bash them. No, Canales is gonna be the guy where I think offensively, the Bucs will be more aggressive. Defensively, Slick, you're on point. There'll be more of a chess match. But if the offense succeeds faster in the first half, which I think they will, Detroit doesn't have, as JT said, they don't have the offensive firepower yet to match that. They don't want to see the Bucs in the shootout. They don't want to see the Bucs and Evans and Godwin and Palmer and Otten. That's why I think the Bucs, and then again, when it comes to the key figure, I think the two key guys I got, of course, Winfield. That's enough said. He's going to be able to load the box and also be able to cover. But Kancey is that dark horse that they're not anticipating, because I think Golston and Green and Vita, like you guys eloquently put it, they're going to be able to contain the run. The Detroit Lions, now, JT, yes, this is a yes or no question. Are they the Eagles' offensive line?
Pretty damn close.
Pretty damn close, but not there. And somebody's out. So you got a guy that's out. We just mentioned that their line is out. So now you'll be, and even as good as you are, you're going to be predictable. If you run it and I know it and I load that box, now what you're going to do? You might be able to get the best of the front line, but you're not getting in front of Devin White and Levante David. That's just no. Oh, and I forgot. Here's another guy. This is my super wild card. Yaya. Yaya is going to have a hell of a
This is
game.
where I was going to go with it. We've got Shaq Barrett on the one side. He's going to go up against Saul. And for me, this is the key matchup. So Bucs raised. They put up a thing as who do you think's the keys for the Bucs? And I think one of the keys for the Bucs tomorrow is who's going to play that other side, because you play it with, and I think if I'm guessing how Bowles likes to play, he's going to jab them with a bit of JTS, and he's going to keep throwing a bit of Yaya in, and whoever succeeds is going to be the lead dog. And that's what my theory is. I don't know who's going to start with. I think we saw a lot of Yaya in the last game.
And he did well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So that's what I think is going to go down. I think that's going to be the key matchup. It's how much that side can deal with. Because Shaq Barrett's not a traveler. Coach Bowles doesn't like to send Shaq on a journey.
No,
he
I agree.
sticks him to one side, and generally, right? He moves him around, but generally they have their sides. Maybe he does mix it up in this one. I don't know, but it's the other side. So you want your best guy versus their best guy because that ties them up. But then there's going to be someone with another opinion going, oh well, what if you put that you put your other guy versus their best guy, and then you put your best guy against their not so great guy. And it's like, well, this is where Coach Bowles excels, and this is where the blitzes, this is where the exotic blitzes come in, this is where the delay blitzes come in. This is how you play the game of pressure. You show the pressure, you take away the pressure, and bring someone else in. One thing I've always liked to do, and this is just me, is I always say to a guy is, on one side, I want you to dance around like a fucking idiot. Like, I want you to come to the line, back off, come to the line, back off. And they're like, but why? And I'm like, because you're going to trap the quarterback's eye. Like, okay. I want you to fucking dance. And like, literally go, hey, I'm over here. Come and look at me. Meanwhile, my strong safety's creeping down, and he's literally crouched behind the defensive end, or the edge rusher. And then the snap goes off, and now you've got a miscommunication. You've got a quarterback that doesn't know that someone in the blitz lane. This guy goes back in a coverage like he's supposed to. He's just been showing it. And then the beautiful thing happens. You get this thing where everyone says offensive linemen are smart. Not when you do this. Yeah, one guy you have two guys like this, and it's literally like a stack. You have one go that way and one go that way. No, fuck, who do I block? Because they have it's that split second where they go shit, and they probably have I've got to contain this guy first. So they might have a rule of like, I'm always going to contain the guy that's going around me. So he'll do that. Then the guard is exposed, and if you've got a nice little dirty 5-tech that likes to bully, like a Greg Gaines, that guy might just fly in for a sack. And you won't get that every time. We know blitzes, you can't keep calling the same blitz every time. It don't work. It's not Madden. We know that doesn't work, realistically. But the little wrinkles like that, I believe that Coach Bowles can get a little bit of production out of this pass rush.
Mm-hmm. So, and I know we got, it's getting a little late, fellas, but JT, let me ask you this. Give me your final prediction and give me your 2 stars on offense and 2 stars on defense for the Bucs.
So my final prediction, I think the Bucs are going to win this game 24-20. I think it's going to be a little bit more low scoring. This Lions offense is one of the most creative, most aggressive offensives in the NFL. Ben Johnson might be the best offensive coordinator in the league right now. So I think the key to this game is going to be disciplined on defense. So I think no one's more disciplined than Levante David. Locking up guys like Sam Laporta, making those tackles on David Montgomery, Levante David, and Antoine Winfield. playing that deep role, not letting a guy like Josh Reynolds sneak out or Jamison Williams sneak out and try and hit that deep shot. So those are my two keys on defense. Offense is going to be Baker Mayfield. It's going to be Mike Evans. Air it out. Do what you do. Games are won. Championships are won on elite strengths. In this matchup, you have an elite strength. They have no one who can stop that. They don't have a great pass rush. They don't have a great secondary. Air it out. So that's where I'm at with this game.
Love it. Love it. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. All right. I'll just get mine out there. I got the Bucs flat out steamrolling and just beating the brakes off 31-10. I say this, stars of the game. This is why. I like what you said with Baker. I think Baker's going to win this game, not only with his arm, with his feet. This is a game where he's going to keep drives alive, where it looks like it's going to be hopeless. He's going to improvise, and it's going to frustrate this defense. As you said, no pass rush. No pass rush means now linebackers and corners are going to have to mind Baker. And because they're minding, Evans is going to kill, not necessarily deep passes, that red zone, he's going to come in full effect. And then, so Evans and Baker. Now, defensive side, Kancey, especially when it comes to the passing, he's going to be an unknown factor. He's going to be too fast. Now, Antoine Winfield is going to be this guy. I already said this. Antoine is going to get a sack and an interception. The reason why I say that, because he's so versatile. They're going to load him in that box. Goff is going to panic, especially because Kancey is going to make him scared. This is where Bo says, okay, I want you. Come here, Winfield. I want you to fake like you're going to blitz. Give him that Rondé Barber treatment. And then when you back up and he tosses that shit, I want you to house that shit. So that's why I got it. That's my 31-10. Slick?
31-10.
31-10.
So whooping.
Good God! Wow, I got 20. I got 20 to 26.
Which team win?
20 to 27. So I got 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals. Now, I do believe, and I always say this, and one day maybe I'll be right. I'm going to keep saying it. I do believe, because it's within a certain amount of points, they're going to drive the ball in the final play, and Antoine Winfield is going to come down with it, or one defensive player is going to come down with the ball on their final drive to try and win the game. They'll steal the ball and kill the game right there and then. That is my prediction. But the offensive players, you know what? I think Kate Otton's going to go off because they're missing Branch. I think that's where you target. Where Branch at, that's where I'm throwing the ball. I'm gonna make you have to defend every blade of grass because he's not there. I also believe that Mike Evans will go off, but only because, and we're all saying this, Baker Mayfield will play a very smart game, and he's done this so far. I've been nothing but impressed with Baker Mayfield's decision making. Like, even sometimes when he's got the penalties for throwing the ball away, and I'm like, nah, but I've looked at these penalties and I'm like, I don't know if that's actually a penalty. Pretty sure he's outside the pocket and he's thrown to someone in the vicinity. But okay, we'll go down your country lane, whatever. I'm more than happy with the football intelligence level that he's been playing at, and I think that continues. And I think he takes advantage of it, and he will make plays that keeps us alive in drives, where we will convert some of these touchdowns and kicks just because of his able play. I honestly believe that. Defensively, it's easy to go down the route of Antoine Winfield, and I have to go down that route because we're all consistent. Consistency is consistency, boys. This guy, I've not seen someone play safety at this level for a long time at the Buccaneers. This guy can sack the quarterback. He can knock the ball out. He can pick the ball off. And he just seems to appear every time a pass is thrown. It's almost like he's got an intuition. He went, oh, shit. He does that Goku thing. Going, pew, pew. He appears in the spot and goes, nope.
That thing is called instant transmission, for the record. Let's get our anime straight.
No. They use it. They use it in the anime too, and they all can do it. It's just when they move very, very fast. But instant transmission is the quintessential move in large distances. I'm talking when they just move, like when they move from like a small distance, where they do it in the Vegeta, and he does not have instant transmission.
Nope, he does not.
So. And it's where they're like moving around so quick. It's when he turns around, Piccolo turns around Gohan. He's like, I can't see them. And he's like, you need to tune your eyes. And he's like, oh yeah. And they're
Ooh, we took it back to throwback season.
They've been doing it since the old school Dragon Ball days, where they just kind of like disappear and reappear, but it's just because they move fast. That's why I think about Antoine Winfield. But I think the guy who'll be the cherry on top. This is the guy who I think will get the pick. This is the guy who I think finishes the game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Christian Ism. Christian Ism will pick off a ball because he's still underrated. He is still that dude, and their best players seem to play in the slot area. I do believe he clamps down on that, picks one off, sees a route that he knows is coming, and just eats it.
Guys, this is what the Detroit is going to start out as. Just happy to be here, just doing the damn thing. And then when the Bucs take care of them, they're gonna end up like this. Damn it!
I love that. Where did you get that from?
I know, came prepared with props and everything.
Yes,
he does. Hey, he's got the pillow. He's got the pillow of destruction.
Look at that nice cushion.
Oh, cushion.
Well,
but we want the pushing. Yeah.
The Lions don't have a wide receiver outside of Jamison Williams who can really challenge you downfield, and Jamison Williams hasn't shown he can do anything at the NFL level.
There it goes. That's why I say this, guys. In all due respect, like I said, and I love that we're all here saying we're not saying Detroit is a sorry team. This isn't a New Orleans Saints team. This isn't a team that's on its down luck. No, but they have yet to play a team like the Bucs, and you're talking about a team at full strength. Now, if Detroit was at full strength, that's an entirely different conversation. So,
it's an arm wrestle. It's 100% an arm wrestle.
Yes. So now with that being said, this Detroit losing this game is not going to be the end of the world for them. We just said they're going to bounce back. They're too good, and the schedule favors them. Yeah, you're right. I looked at their schedule, JT. Shit, it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. They ain't got nobody.
They might not lose 4 games all year. Even if they lose to the Bucs, they might only drop 2 more.
12-5 is not out of the question for Detroit. Literally, 12-5 is not out of the question.
They'll get their own trap game or two. So
that's what I'm saying. But 12-5 is not out of the question.
Even if you go 10-6 is still freaking good, and I think that wins the division easily. I'm only saying this because we are contending with them for a division, but to climb up the seeding, right? I'm not saying that we can't win 12 games, but we have a significantly tougher schedule where we could easily drop 2 to 3 games realistically.
I told you I stand by this. The Bucs are winning between 10 to 12 wins.
Yeah.
But you say that 10 to 12. That means we've lost 7 games.
True, and I say 10 to 12.
Who's that 7 games then, AJ?
And I say this.
Games, I'm telling you, brother.
Yeah, there's some trap games, but I'm more for on the 12 side because there's only 2 teams right now, the remainder of the Bucs schedule, that make me go, oh damn, they can give us some work. 49ers, we're not going to be ready. I'm just real with that. We're not ready for that.
When it comes to 49ers, I just want us to be in the game.
Right. I just want us to lose by.
Like we have, all it takes is a moment to flip it, you know?
Yeah, right.
But sometimes when you're in that 1-score game, all it takes is a pick, or all it takes is a forced fumble. All it takes is that thing, right?
Yeah.
So you're not too far. That's why I'm not mad about the game against Philadelphia, because they outplayed us and they were comfortable in that game, but we were never embarrassed. We were never out of the game. All it took was a little bit of magic and we could get easily back into that game. So I never thought we were out of it. That's why my bum was on my seat. That's why I was still watching this. I didn't walk away.
Same here. Yeah, but I just feel like right now, if they stay healthy, they're going to be clicking on cylinders to the where we just need to get them in the playoffs. And the Bills are the only other team that I go, because.
And so what you're saying is we got our loss now. the Niners, potentially the Bills, and then you've got a subtract game.
If I have to go with the trap game,
it's not just a trap game because there's 2 games. Because you got to remember it's 17 games in total.
Yeah. And that's
why I'm giving 5 games that you think you're going to lose.
No, I say this, and I'm
fucking with you, dude.
I know.
I always say this.
I'm pushing on the 12, but if they win more than 12 games with this Bucs team, if they stay healthy, I'm not surprised.
I'm only messing with you, AJ. The only thing I had us down as 10 wins, and I can't honestly say who our 7 losses are going to be. I can guarantee maybe two of them right now. I could guarantee 2 of them right now. I do think we'll probably lose 1 game in the division. Who that is, I don't know. That's just my feeling, and I think the Texans could be a trap game. But when you ask me on the day, I will always say Bucs will win because I believe in it. Because I've not seen anything that I can't. And I'm a fucking Bucs fan. I'm deluded enough to believe we're going to win every game anyway. I'm just not deluded enough to think that we're going to go 17-0 because I know that's physically impossible. Well, not physically impossible. It's very, 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 very unlikely. And it's definitely unlikely now because we've lost a game. Right. So you look at it and you go, okay, how many games could we lose? Okay, statistically, we could lose. Well, if we lost 7 games, which sounds like a lot when you say 7 games we lost, we've still got 10 wins, probably enough to win the division.
Oh, agreed, 100%.
And I'm looking at the schedule right now and looking at it conservatively. Say we lose to Detroit, that's 1. Buffalo, San Francisco, Jacksonville's a good team, so we'll give that a conservative loss. That's 5 losses. In Lambeau Field in December, we'll call that a loss, 6 losses. And then you drop a game you expect to win. So 7 losses, I think, is the max at this point. And
we could all argue genuine points why we could win every single one of those games. Maybe not the San Francisco 49ers, and the Bills would be a harder. It depends what the Bills look like when we get to them, I think.
Yeah, I think the Bucs are better than the Packers and the Jaguars. I think right here, right now, the Bucs are better than the Lions, and I think the Bucs will only get better with more continuity in this offense. So I think there's a lot of case to be made that they can win more than 10, but I think looking at it conservatively right now, I think 10's the floor.
It's beautiful when you say it like that, isn't it? 10's the floor.
I love it. Guys, but we know this already. With the talent, we had to
I think my 9 was going into the season. 9 was my floor. 10 was 10 to 11 was kind of where I expected. 12 to 13 would be like, oh, we did really fucking good.
I just say this: the Bucs stay healthy. If they can stay 90% healthy, 13 to 14 is not out of the question. Because again, we got to realize I don't see us losing twice. I see us sweeping. The only other team in our division that might beat us just because they still have a solid defense is the Saints. The Panthers, hell, if they lose 2 more games, they might be in the process of, hey, guys, we need to just tank for better players. Falcons, they're going to try to give us a go, but we're just –
I think you've got to beat them on the first try. The second try, I agree. And their third try, if they're doing well when we meet them, which they probably should be, they'll give it, their best shot. And then if we beat them, and when we meet them again, they are they're falling off the truck, so to speak. Yeah, I think it could be a case. It could be more of a walk.
Well, the sad part for the Panthers is they can't take because they gave away their first-round pick this year to go up and get Bryce Young. So even if they want to,
I forgot that. Oh shit! So either way, they're screwed. So they only get a 2nd round, a 3rd round pick?
I don't even know if they have their 2nd round. Moving up to the 1st overall pick is expensive.
So
I know
either way,
TJ Moore, a 1st-round pick. I don't remember exactly what else was in that deal, but it cost them a lot.
So at that point, then the Panthers might be a damn fire sale team. Give away people for something else in the future. That's what I'm saying. The Panthers are not.
Did you see the report today from Albert Breer?
What happened? No.
Panthers are rumored to be in sell mode. Jeremy Chin, Terrence Marshall, Brian Burns. Doesn't sound like there's any untouchables according to this Albert Breer post.
Except for maybe the quarterback.
I rest my case. Again, this is the Panthers are going to be at a point where it's like, hey, we know this is the L. The Falcons will try, but they just don't have enough. Like I said, if we lose against the Saints, I'll be pissed. But it'll be something I can live with if we're like.
It depends on that record, really, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Now,
they got to come to
behind.
Tampa.
It
That
doesn't matter.
game's in Tampa now too.
right. But if the Bucs are like 9-2 by that time, I'm gonna just go. It's one of those things where it is what it is. But I'd rather not. I'd rather lose to the Panthers.
You got to give to charity at least once a year, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather, but if we're gonna give charity, give it to the Panthers or the Falcons. I want to sweep the Saints again.
I'm 100% with you. I think if I had to pick a trap game, I'd rather give it to a team outside our division. I'd give it to the Jags because they're our cousins.
Right. I can take a loss to the Jags. You know what? If the Jags beat us, I wouldn't be bad. I
want it to be like a last-minute field goal. I want it to be, you know what I mean? I don't want it to be ugly. I don't want my nose broken in the process.
No. Like
I want to be finessed into losing.
No,
right. It's one of those.
I want to give it to Tennessee. I got a former student playing for the Titans right now, so I want to see nothing but good things for the Titans.
That's cool.
Good for that person.
Hey. I tell you what, if we need a trap game, that will be our trap game. I'm happy with that.
Yep, shout out Caleb Murphy.
Unfortunately, they just play too early in our schedule.
Right. If Tennessee ships off Derrick Henry, they're going to go into.
This is what I want to talk about, guys. Do you really see the Buccaneers considered a favorite to go and land him? Is this a real thing? Do you think that's going to actually happen? JT, I'm going to go to you because you're the staff guy. I would go the guy who kind of has a bit more intuition to roster, knows a little bit more about what's the front office stuff than we do. Me and AJ, we're heart and soul, and we pound the fist for guys that we want. You're a little bit more intelligent than we are.
I don't know about that, but I think the talk of guys like Derrick Henry or Jonathan Taylor being brought into the Bucs are fun. I think from a price tag perspective, it's just not realistic. You know, they don't have a lot of cap space, and if you're going to use that cap space, do you really want to use it on an aging running back? I just don't like the idea of that.
I hear what you're saying. Now, is there any chance a Super Bowl contending team would ask for Henry?
Yeah, I think they would ask. I think Mike Vrabel's going to be fired at the end of this year if they don't find some success. So I don't know how willing he'll be to part with a guy like Derrick Henry. But I think a lot of contenders will be sniffing around. You know, Derrick Henry, that's a big time guy right there.
What if he went to the Chiefs?
What a pain in the ass.
We don't want that.
They still wouldn't be able to throw to anyone outside of Kelsey. I mean, the receivers are awful.
Yeah.
So, but they still have a really good interior line. They still have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, Derrick Henry. That starts to look a little scary right there.
That's what I'm saying, because now you can control.
And they got Taylor Swift, so
yeah, they'd have more control of the clock too.
I might be rooting for the Chiefs in that scenario. T Swift, it's my girl.
Oh, good lord,
she's just so adorable. I can't say anything negative against her.
Damn that. I'll say this, and I know this would never happen, but this is Disney World kind of like picks. What if Derrick Henry came to the Bucs?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I get that he could potentially be doubt and what have you. I don't see them dealing him for the sheer fact that they historically they've always kind of needed him, right? And I don't think Vrabel's stupid enough to just go, you know what, he's not having the greatest season in the world, I'll just get rid of him. I don't think he's that fire sale type of guy. He's got a bit of Belichick in him, obviously, because he's been around it, but I also believe that he's a loyalist. Yeah, he knows the shit that this guy has gone through for his team. I don't think he's going to just walk away from it. But the Buccaneers, realistically, if they got him, it's a 1-year rental. And do you really want to trade something for a 1-year rental?
Hell yeah! Derrick Henry is an automatic force. That might just upstart a guy like that. That might upstart him to go, you know what? Let me save myself because if Derrick Henry, let's say he saves himself for the playoffs, because I think the Bucs will get there. Now that's a nightmare, and the line will only get better. And not only that, you're taking the pressure off the receiver.
AJ, you're starting to sell me now. I'm like, fuck. I'm ready to go. Like, no.
Return Derrick Henry in the playoffs with the Bucs would be dangerous, because not only that.
You know we ain't resigning him the year after, though.
No, we don't have
to. It's a 1 year. It's a 1 year thing.
And I'm saying we wouldn't have to. But
JT, do you happen to know how much he's got left on his contract?
I don't know offhand, But
Sorry, I assume you just know everything.
well, I have his page pulled up right now, and here's the thing about Derrick Henry. He's led the NFL in carries 3 of the last 4 years. And this year, for the first time in his career, he's averaging less than 4 yards a carry. So I just don't know how much tread that big body has left on the tires.
Okay. But that's what I'm saying.
I'd rather go after JT than I would over Derrick Henry right now.
He did just get paid. He's got 4 years at like $14 million.
Did he? I did not know he got paid. Well,
Jonathan Taylor's paid now. He all right. That's what I say.
I thought his coach hated him and shit.
And he did for 4 weeks, and then he caved.
And then, he came to his senses. He was like, wait a minute.
Okay, now I feel like the dumbest person in the world because I did not know this. I do not know why I don't know this, but okay.
But it was funny because
you're a dumbass.
They paid him like last Friday, and then like 2 days later, their backup running back, Zach Moss, went off for like 150 yards.
Yeah.
Just to spite everyone.
Talk about irony, but it's one of those things because isn't Richardson on IR now?
Yeah, but
not for the whole year. I don't think it's kind of like a month-long IR.
Yeah, that's
that 4-week thing.
Yeah, but with that's more than likely you're going to go 0-4. More than likely, that's not a good
schedule is.
Yeah, either way, they're still the Colts. 0-4 is I think is an 80% possibility. So now you get a guy, you re-sign Taylor. Now it's like, okay, at least my quarterback will live. They don't want another Andrew Luck situation. They still getting bad press off of that. You ruined a franchise quarterback because you got him Quentin Nelson, but his 2 knees were gone already.
Yeah, but Quentin Nelson's not going to save a line, you know.
Right. They didn't do their diligence.
You got to do the rest of that shit. You got to put a few other dudes around him, you know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It will be interesting. I do think that, it'll be an interesting thing, but right now the Bucs are going to just Mufasa is going out. Mufasa is gonna fall off the cliff one more time, and I'm sorry. Long live the king. He's gonna go, Scar, brother, help me, and then the man's gonna flip to this. Ah! That's the expression they're gonna make when they see Peter Bayer and Canty come in golf face. Ah, shit! Wow!
And as always, me and AJ will do our usual entertaining videos of us discussing the game at length.
Damn right. But JT, we know it's getting late. We'll let you go. But before we do, tell everybody where they can find you and what you got coming up. I know you got something cooking.
So you can find all my written work at bucksreport.com. You can find my podcast, Creamsicle Chronicle Podcast. We typically record Friday nights at 9:30. I also have a gambling podcast I do with the same network. It's called Around the Book. So if you're someone who's into sports gambling, NFL, college football, we're just starting hockey and NBA now. Check us out Wednesdays at 9:30.
My man, always a pleasure, JT. Thank you for coming on. And again, I owed you an apology about Gedke. I hope you keep making me wrong. Tell me another lineman that's going to be better so I can doubt him so he can do good. Tell me, please.
I'm just starting to look at my draft preview stuff, starting to kick the tires on it. This West Virginia center, last name Frazier, he's going to be on the Bucs radar. I like him.
Okay.
I'm going to do it here first. Frazier. Check him out.
I can't remember his first name, but the dude can move.
All right. Well, I believe you.
No reason not to. He is the je ne sais quoi of the lineman.
Hey, that's where I play it. That's my bread and butter right there. Hey, offensive, defensive line.
I think maybe one day I should just look at DBs because I've done all right on DBs. We used to do a fantasy draft where each person got 32 guys got to control a team, so you got to have their picks. You could trade between each other and everything. It was like a fantasy draft, but you never played anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my 6th round pick was Ladarius Sneed, who I think went undrafted that year.
There it is.
I got J.C. Jackson. I drafted J.C. Jackson when no one drafted him, and he's a stud. So when you get a couple of guys like that, and you drafted guys that you think, oh, fucking, I know football, man.
Between the three of us, I'll take the trenches. AJ can take the skill guy. You got the back seven. Well, we can draft a full team here.
Damn right.
That's it. Here we go. The draft team is here. JT, always a pleasure, never a chore, brother. Don't be a stranger. You're always welcome anytime, any show. You know it. We love you.
I appreciate you guys having me on, especially this week because I've been talking a lot of smack to my Lions fans.
Oh, well, you're in that neck of the woods, so you gotta bring that. Do you have a creamsicle ready to go?
I got my all-stock creamsicle and I got my Bucko Bruce hat ready for tomorrow.
Oh my Lord!
There we go. I think what we need to do is everyone who works for Bucs Report needs to take a picture in their creamsicle get up, and we'll just do like a fucking The Boys kind of photo shoot. Just all lined up like. All right, brother. Thank you very much, and we'll always appreciate you and see you soon.
Yep. Talk to you guys later.
Take care, my man. All right. I'm gonna wrap this up myself too, guys. Again, always. This is the aftermath on 102.9 The Game, Broad Street South Radio. Always check us out. We love talking Bucs talk. And again, we like bringing guests on because we want your opinions because it matters. And we can talk about other things, just the Bucs, but the Bucs are the most important thing. But again, we're not just Buc fans. We're fans of the game of football. So I'm going to let you guys roll. But again, you can always find me on my channel at It's About Bucking Time. Please go to my channel, also on my page on Instagram. You check in the link, AJ Turnup, and then I got merchandise right here, guys. Skill and Will right here. I got motivational, inspirational things. And as always, go Bucs. Let's get this win tomorrow. Talk to you later, Slick. You be easy, my brother.
Be easy, brother. See you soon.
See you.
Okay, guys, that's pretty much the end of the show. I'm just going to go through a couple of comments and just see what's going on. And, don't want you guys to think that we ignore you. It's just sometimes we get into our groove. Bucs score more than 21 to win tomorrow. What do you think? Shootout? I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be dogged. I think a shootout's more in the 30s, in my opinion. But I do think the Buccaneers will score more than 21. Everyone against the Bucs? Yep, absolutely. Why not? With the underdog team. We're the dog. Dogs will prevail. Did you guys see nobody picks the book? Yeah, right. Guys. They'll sleep on us until they ain't us. And then all of a sudden, they'll applaud us. That's how it goes. Has Leftwich got a job yet? Nobody knows. Special teams key. Yeah, I think it will help. Kansas will have an impact. I do. I think they just got to use him intelligently. I don't think they can just throw him straight to the wolves. They might want to test him and see what he does, and then play about with it. Maybe, I don't know. Without Brady and now Baker, yep, we just move on. New transformation. It's a completely different team. Went from pocket quarterback to a mobile quarterback was key for us. Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. Panthers a trap game. Potentially, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Could imagine get Henry missing piece? Would be nice. I just don't think it's realistic. It is definitely a 1-year rental because I don't think the Buccaneers can pay that many people. If Buccaneers get him Super Bowl, I'm not sure about that. You can't guarantee it. Titans have still been trying to fucking figure out how to get to a fucking Super Bowl. Super Bowl or bust, yeah, definitely you could have that mentality on it, but there's no guarantee that you're getting anything. Josh Jacobs from Raiders, yeah, that's not bad. How about it's about who wants to give up something, and I don't know who wants to give up what. So it's usually a team that's downward spiraling, and they're like I said this, and I stand by this. So I'll get some hate for it, and I'll say it as it is. I do think if the Buccaneers are poor or were poor, I don't think they will be. At the trade deadline, I wouldn't be surprised if they moved off Mike Evans. Not because I dislike him or anything like that. I think Mike Evans should be good for life. But I think if your team is really poor and you're probably going to be in the high-end level of draft picks, you probably want to see what you can get for other players and completely restart, right? I don't see that happening. I think the Buccaneers will succeed, and I think the Buccaneers will be great. So, like pieces, absolutely, why not? I think it's just it's a case of the Buccaneers just need to look at what they're doing, and look what's around them, and is there anyone that's actually got meaningful gain? Don't overbuy, and don't overbuy. We don't want to waste picks and stuff like that because you got your future coming. And to be fair, this draft class so far, like other than Cansey, because we haven't seen what he's done, has been pretty decent. Like, and the undrafted free agent, I've always felt that Light succeeds very well. They may take a few years to get there, but that's undrafted free agents for you, right? But he seems to be very good at picking one per year, almost, that have some sort of significant impact on the team. But after that, guys, your Buccaneers are on to play in the Creamsicle versus their old NFC Central rival, the Detroit Lions. And it's a titanic battle because both teams have the same win ratio, I guess. I didn't want to get into that shit, but they're at the same level. They're both top of their divisions. They've both got the same amount of losses. They're ready to fight. This is America's game. Let's be ready for it. Let's win it and enjoy it. That's all I can say. But guys, Buccaneers on me, Bucs on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go Bucs!